read. Who is going to read? Let's number of times korchu vaichalaari. Tomorrow you will have exam. Don't ask me what, when, what. Evaluation. എന്താ ചോദിക്കുക എന്താണെന്നൊന്നും പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. Get ready. Yeah. Who did not read much? ഏറ്റവും കുറവായി ചളരാം. You think all of you have read sufficient? You read. Louder.
Reactivity series and electrochemistry. Don't you notice the figure? Didn't you notice the picture? What is
Close the book. What is the sentence you read?
Don't you
I don't remember.
reactivity series and
What is the title of the chapter? Okay.
reactivity series and electrochemistry.
What is the reactivity series? What is reactivity? The mode of it. No. Sentence has to be sentence. Check. No. Make sentence. What is reactivity? See, if you don't even understand the heading, then how do you read? Tell me, somebody. Tell me, somebody fast. What is reactivity? Nobody knows what is reactivity? അറിയുന്നത് പറയും മക്കളെ ധൈര്യമായിട്ട്. എനിക്ക് റെസ്പോൺസ് ഇല്ലാണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ബോറടിക്കാം. Somebody who knows what is reactivity, speak. Reactivity. I am not asking chemistry. I am asking German. You don't have reactivity. നിങ്ങൾ റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല ഞാൻ പറയുമ്പോൾ. None of you are having reactivity. ഞാനിപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളോട് 4 പ്രാവശ്യം 5 പ്രാവശ്യം ചോദിച്ചാലും ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കും. റിയാക്ഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ആക്ഷൻ വരുമ്പോൾ അതിന് ഒപ്പോസ് ആയിട്ട് ആൻസർ വരുന്നതിന് എന്താ പറയുക? റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി. ഐ ആം ആസ്കിങ് യു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, യു ആർ നോട്ട് റിയാക്ടിങ്. സോ യുവർ റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി is 0. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഐ ആം ആസ്കിങ് യു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, വാട്ട് ഈസ് റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി? Response to something is called reaction. So your reactivity, I am asking you a question, what should be your reaction? You should give answer. Are you giving answers? No. So do you want to be like this? എനിക്ക് വല്ലാണ്ട് ദേഷ്യം വരിക. ഇപ്പോഴാണ് ഞാൻ നിർത്തിപ്പോകാൻ എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. എനിക്ക് അങ്ങനത്തെ സ്വഭാവം. ഇത്രയും സമയം പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താണ് റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ റിയാക്ഷൻ, ആ റിയാക്ഷൻ ഉള്ളത് സംഭവം എന്തെങ്കിലും വായത്തോന്ന് പറയും മക്കളെ. ആരെങ്കിലും ധൈര്യമുള്ള 1-2 പേര്, ഒന്നിനും കൊള്ളാത്തവരാണ് നിങ്ങൾ 15 പേരെങ്കിലും ഐ ഗെറ്റ് ബോർഡ്. ഐ വാണ്ട് യുവർ റിയാക്ഷൻ. ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്ന ചോദ്യമാണ്, മനസ്സിലാണ്ടോ? മനസ്സിൽ തോന്നുന്ന അപ്പം പറയണം, ചിന്തിക്കണം. ഡോണ്ട് റീഡ്, യു മസ്റ്റ് ലേൺ. റീഡിംഗ് ഇല്ല, എന്തേ ഉള്ളൂ? ലേണിംഗ് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. സോ എവറി വേർഡ് ഈസ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. എത്രയോ പ്രാവശ്യം പറഞ്ഞത് ഞാൻ ഒരു സെന്റൻസ് വായിക്കുമ്പോൾ റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന അർത്ഥം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആർക്കും കൃത്യമായിട്ട് അറിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ വൈ കോണ്ട് യു ആസ്ക് ഹിം സ്റ്റോപ്പ് എന്നിട്ട് എന്നോട് ചോദിക്കുക. ഞാൻ തരുന്നത് മാത്രം മേടിക്കുകയും എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ഒന്നും ചോദിക്കാണ്ടിരുന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ കൊടുക്കുന്ന ആളുടെ സന്തോഷം തീരും, അത് നിർത്തും. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് ഡോണ്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് റീഡ്. ആ വായിക്കുന്ന ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ബോധമുണ്ടാവും. എന്നിട്ട് നിർത്തിയിട്ട് ചോദിക്കാം, എന്താണ് DrTPS, ഐ ഡോണ്ട് അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി. ഒരിക്കലെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു ചോദ്യം കിട്ടിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് ആം ഐ ഡൂയിങ്? ദിസ് വിൽ ബി ദ ലാസ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ് ഇഫ് യു ഡോണ്ട് റിയാക്ട്. ഐ വാണ്ട് റിയാക്ടിവിറ്റി ഫ്രം യു. You understood? Yes. Otherwise I will break your bonds. Reaction will come from you, otherwise I will react. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So who is the one who cried yesterday?
Yeah.
She has not come. No. Stop. Huh?
No.
So So if that is your reaction, nothing can be done. You understood?
Yes.
Because I scold you, you don't want to come, don't come. I will scold you because it's not teaching. I told you the other day, when somebody scolds you wanted to commit suicide, you are unfit to live in this world. You must be strong. Correct?
Yes.
Otherwise, how do you live? If somebody asks you some question, comment അടിച്ചു എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? React. You understood?
Yes.
Get hold of his collar and kill him. That's it. Take his picture or file a case. It's very simple. And if you don't have the guts, you cannot be my student. You have to have that energy. You have to have that power. You must change this world. That's what you should do. React. You understood what is reactivity now?
Yes.
That ability to react is called the reactivity ability. So what's the title? Reactivity
Series.
Spell it.
SERIES.
Series, not one. One reaction, not enough. Every action there is a reaction. You understood? You are not stopping with one action. When I ask you a question, you react immediately. That means you have only one reaction. For every question you are reacting, that's called a series. You understood?
Yes.
So reactivity series is not one reaction, it is continuous reaction. Series of actions, series of reactions. Got it?
Yes. Didn't you notice the picture?
No, title is not over. We have only read two words.
Reactivity, series, and electrochemistry.
Electrochemistry. What is electrochemistry? What is electric? What is current?
Energy, power, and transfer.
So do you have energy, power and all that in the chapter?
Yes.
What is electrolysis? Splitting the compound and making into smaller bits are called electrolysis. By using electricity or some energy. Got it? You could heat it, give energy, that's it. So we learned in heat. Heating, rubbing, heating, all these are forms of energy. So you have to give some energy so that electrons will start reacting. Got it? So that ability is called the electrolysis. So you will have to crack the bonds. Fine? So for cracking bonds, what should I do? The bonds I have to crack, I'll have to scold you, I'll have to hit you, I'll have to hit you, I'll have to push you, I'll have to make you to run. All that has to be done. Understood?
Didn't you notice the picture? What do you see in it?
Louder.
Did you notice the picture? What do you see in it?
What do you see?
Batteries, electroplates.
Huh? Okay, then
A few instances of use of electricity and a few sources of electricity are shown in this picture. Generation of electricity
technical words you have written down? Technical words. Complete technical words. Complete elements. Note compulsory. That's why I'm saying reactivity is not once. Series of reactivity. When I ask you to do something, don't do it for one chapter, one subject that day. It is the method of learning which I am teaching you. Read word by word, write sentence by sentence. Any word which you don't understand, you must list it out. That's what you should do. You have not done it. So what is the purpose? If I ask you what are all the technical terms in that, if you know all the definitions, you know the subject. That's it. That's very simple. Then when you read, you understand most of things. Now you don't understand because technical terms you don't understand. How many of you have referred a dictionary while reading this chapter? Do you have dictionary at home?
Yes.
Did you refer the dictionary while reading this chapter?
No.
Did I not ask you? Did I not ask you when you read chemistry or physics or maths, refer dictionary? That means you are not doing what I am asking you to do. You will have to stay late night. You will have to spend a lot of time. You will have to wake up early morning and do homework. Otherwise, I am wasting time. You are also wasting time. No use. So what is the purpose of reading a book, a textbook, or not reading a textbook? No, you are not learning. You are just reading. The way you should read is look at word by word. A chapter the heading, did I not explain to you? Reactivity means, series means. What is the next chapter? Before that, what is the chapter?
Production of metals.
Then, what are the chapters in chemistry?
Periodic table and
Only one. Only one.
periodic table and electronic configuration, mole concept, rate of chemical reaction, and
Mole concept. That's one chapter, right? Stop it. Look at it.
mole concept, rate of chemical reaction and chemical equilibrium,
Rate of
chemical reaction and chemical equilibrium,
rate of
chemical reaction,
chemical reaction and
chemical equilibrium.
chemical equilibrium. So one react with the another one. After some time it becomes equilibrium. You cannot change it further. You take water, take salt and put inside, stir it well. Salt is different, water is different. After some time it becomes equilibrium. You add more salt also, it cannot dissolve. Stop it. So it's an equilibrium. Yeah, then
Reactivity series and electrochemistry.
reactivity series and electrochemistry. You have got atom in which you have got positive, negative charges. Nucleus is there. Correct? Electrical means there is a charge flow. So in the atom you are making electricity to pass. Therefore the atom will take charge from electricity, and then whatever charges it has, it will leave. And when leaving charge, that means its chemical reaction will happen. Right? Did you do electrolysis at home? Anytime you have done this experiment? No? Turishi line kitto? You want to know how to do it? Turishi kitto, vittiladikkunna. Vittilundo illയോ? എവിടെന്നെങ്കിലും കിട്ടോ തുരിശിന്റെ ലൈൻ? Yes, it's possible. വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുമെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ വീടല്ല, എവിടെയെങ്കിലും കിട്ടുമെന്ന് ചോദിക്കുന്നത്. തുരിശ് വെള്ളം എടുക്കുക ഒരു പാത്രത്തിൽ. You want to do it at home? Take it. തുരിശ് വാട്ടർ എടുക്കുക. കോപ്പർ സൾഫേറ്റ് ആണ്. What's it? Yeah. Then take a battery, normal cell, which you are using in your torch. Fine. And then take small wires. രണ്ട് കഷ്ണം വയർ എടുക്കുക. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? എന്നിട്ട് കോപ്പറിന്റെ എന്തെങ്കിലും കഷ്ണം ഉണ്ടാവില്ല, പാത്രമോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വളയോ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടാവില്ലയോ? ഇതിപ്പോ സിൽവറാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഓൾസോ ഹാസ് കോപ്പർ. കോപ്പർ മാത്രം കിട്ടുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നല്ലത്. ടേക്ക് കോപ്പർ. വീട്ടിൽ ബ്ലേഡ് ഉണ്ടാവില്ലേ പഴയ? ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് അയൺ, സ്റ്റീൽ. അപ്പൊ രണ്ട് വയർ എടുക്കുക. ഒരു വയറിന്റെ അറ്റത്ത് ഇത് കെട്ടി തൂക്കുക, ഒരു ബ്ലേഡ് കെട്ടി തൂക്കുക. മറ്റേ വയറിന്റെ അറ്റത്ത് എന്ത് കെട്ടി തൂക്കുക? ആ വള കോപ്പർ കെട്ടി തൂക്കുക. ഫൈൻ. ചെറുതാവണം, പാത്രത്തിൽ മുങ്ങാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. എന്നിട്ട് ഈ രണ്ട് വയറും എടുത്തിട്ട് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ഭാഗവും ഈ ഒരു ഭാഗവും നെഗറ്റീവും പോസിറ്റീവും ബാറ്ററിക്ക് ചാർജ് കൊടുക്കുക. ഫൈൻ. അപ്പൊ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി വിൽ പാസ്, നെഗറ്റീവ് ചാർജ് വിൽ ഗോ ത്രൂ ദിസ്. Fine. Then what will happen? The copper will start dissolving. This is negative charge. So the negative will go to the copper. The copper will start giving electricity. Where it goes to copper sulfate. Nalla copper sulfate out. From this copper will go to copper sulfate. Appo copper sulfate line എന്തുണ്ടാവും? Copper sulfate ആണല്ലോ. Extra copper കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാലോ അത് accept ചെയ്യോ? And it's already in equilibrium. Fine. So the extra copper, what it will do? Immediately it will give it to silver. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ iron. നിങ്ങൾ വെച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഇതുണ്ടല്ലോ, the blade, ആ ബ്ലേഡിൽ കൊടുക്കും. You understood? And the electricity goes again and it continues. ഒരു 2 മിനിറ്റ് 3-4 മിനിറ്റ് നോക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഈ ബ്ലേഡിന്റെ കളർ കോപ്പർ കളർ. നല്ല ധൈര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ സ്വർണ്ണം ചെയ്യാം. പക്ഷെ സ്വർണ്ണത്തിന് ഈ ലൈന് കിട്ടും. You need a different. Understood? That's how the plating is done. It's called electroplating. What's it called? Electroplating. ഏത് സാധനത്തിനും if I want to put an electroplate for a metal, this is how it is done. Chemistry interesting ആണോ അല്ലയോ?
Yes.
പിന്നെ next chapter.
Production of metals.
Production of metals. How do you produce metal? From the ore. What is ore? Dig and then get whatever material you have. There are two things. One is for metal, another is for oil. Metal is from the mud, stone, all the minerals which you get, you take it and heat them. Okay? Everything is heating in chemistry. Why do you heat it? Then once you heat, the copper has a melting point. Specific heat പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
Yes.
No, ഇല്ലയോ? So copper has a melting point.
Yes.
Beyond that it cannot hold. It will become liquid. So ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു സാധനം വെച്ചിട്ട് when you heat it up, first copper will come as a liquid. Collect it. And that becomes copper. Iron has got a different melting point.
Yes.
During that time only iron will come out. Gold has got a different melting point. Gold will come out. Got it? So that is how you produce metal. Got it? Yeah. Next one. And how do you make different compounds of metal? Brass and dagger. Same way. Add together. You have copper and silver. Heat it up copper. Heat it up silver. Both mixed together and then stir it, you get a compound. Got it? That is how you make different metals. Bell metal. So you will see the strength of iron, the color of silver, the strength of copper and aluminium. You can mix together. All of them can be mixed. Different temperature, you will have to heat it up and then mix it. Yeah. Next.
Nomenclature of organic compounds.
What is nomenclature? Names of organic compounds. Which are the names? പഠിപ്പിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാണോ chapter?
No.
Don't worry whether it is taught or not. You are my children. Nobody has to teach you. You can learn yourself. Nomenclature means name. name of different carbon compounds. Yes? Before going to class, read everything, make a chapter. Chapter wise, you have to make it now notes for you. Don't wait for your teachers to give notes. Got it? Yes. Write down all the nomenclature. Nomenclature means name. You will have what are the possible benzoin, methyl, so many names are there. All these are compounds. Okay? Ethane. All these are different names. All these are compounds of carbon. In the world, which is the most common item? Carbon. That is why chemistry name itself came with a C starting. Got it?
Yes.
What is the spelling of chemistry? H-E. C is a metal. Metal or not? See, if I say C is a metal, carbon is a metal, you should stop and tell me carbon is not a metal. Yeah, but I asked you carbon is a metal, C is a metal. Very, very careful. So, carbon, then He. He. Understood?
Yes.
CHEM. Actually, magnesium Mg is there, you remove G. You want to see that? How to create? Yeah, then next chapter.
Chemical reactions of organic compounds.
Yeah, in the world, what is maximum? It's all carbon. Anything which you burn, what comes out? Carbon. So where is it coming from? From inside. Anything in the world, you have carbon. Organic. Organic means living. Hydro, water. Anything which is living has got hydro. Water and oil.
Yes.
In me and in you, in any planet, any stone, everywhere water is there. Everywhere water is there. When you heat it up, carbon will come out. So carbon is there. So every product in the world is hydrocarbon. How about which chapter?
No.
So now you will realize how easy for you to do. And the next chapter would become another. Which is the next chapter to teach? Organic compounds. So what you should do is write down the whole names which comes in organic compounds. Fine? Yes. And next one is nomenclature of different organic compounds. Next one, what are you doing? What's the next chapter? Chemical reactions of organic compounds. പക്ഷെ അതിന് എന്തൊക്കെ ഓർഗാനിക് കോമ്പൗണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നോമൻക്ലേച്ചർ പഠിച്ചു. So both chapters are same actually. Got it? And then you take out those items. How do you take out? By splitting them, reacting with them. That is why in the beginning you learn. You understood? I said copper sulfate, right?
Yes.
Copper, sulfur, but remove them. Easiest one to remove in the world is carbon, because everywhere you get carbon and everywhere you get hydrogen. Everywhere you will see hydrogen and oxygen is there everywhere. Oxygen too much will burn. If there is more oxygen, when you do this, friction is enough to burn this. Right? So water contains hydrogen. Once it goes inside and mix with all the plants, animals that get into a mixture, then it will become hydrocarbon, fossil fuel. From that you can take petroleum, from that you can take sulfur, everything can be taken out. So what do I do now? I'll show you something. Must be very carefully watch, write down every point. Avadi noki nokkiru. Pinky. Very. Again. So the first one, the normal water goes through this, and all the muddy particle and the dust will get collected. Second one should be this side flat. So this collects all the next particle, which will be the carbon or maybe something like that. Carbon is also impurity for us. Every water will have hydrocarbon particles. I said when you dig you get oil, right? What is it? Hydro, fossil fuel. There will be a lot of no animals died inside water. When you dig a well and you are fetching water now, there will be a lot of animals died, ants, snake, everything would be there. Fish would have died. When you coconut falls inside, that also will become carbon at the end. Yes. Right? All the hydro, so they all get mixed with water. This is non-mixed items. This is mixed items. So how do you remove them? H2O has got a molecular structure. Carbon has got a different one, so it becomes too thick water, right? So if I have got a filter, like a filter like this, right? Inside this there is a small gap. So this gap will allow only water molecule to go, not a bigger molecule. You understood? Yes. And then I am forcing it. That's why the motor pushes inside. So what will happen? It will not allow other items to go, only water will go. All the rest of the particle will stay here. That's why when you open it, you will get some blackish things. Not arrow, the other one. In this you will get some dust material. No. Filter down. Filter multiply, you get some waste material. Then it goes to this. No? So when you go to arrow, I don't want water to go. It is called reverse. What is arrow? Reverse osmosis. What is osmosis? Mixing with oxygen is called osmosis. Right? Then this filter inside this is much smaller, not the other bigger one. Much smaller. Okay? In which water cannot go. And you are pushing it. Once you are pushing and water cannot go, what will happen? It will become into pieces. What are the two pieces? Hydrogen piece and oxygen piece. So here also I am splitting water into two different atoms. So hydrogen atom will go, oxygen atom also will go inside. To pressurize it only the motor is used. Fine? Then between this the hydrogen and oxygen will go. Immediately after that hydrogen and oxygen again will become water. That is why it is called the reverse osmosis. You understood? Yes. And then there will be a lot of dust particle, waste things and all that. That is to be cleaned. That is why this pipe is going and then cleaning the water. The membrane is cleaned. Otherwise only once it will go and then so some dirt will be getting cleaned here and this becomes the dirty water. All the waste water will go in. You understood? Yes. So just now we are learning this compound and then splitting it. Here how is it splitting? With the pressure. That's why the pump. The pump is to pressurize the flow. Got it? Yes. Thank you.
Which one for what? For the carbon, man?
That's the first one.
First one, same.
Third one now. This is the last process. This is the last process. So that's why reverse osmosis is the most purified water form. Because it goes into hydrogen and oxygen, makes it pure. Right? Yes.
For blue eye. Sir, blue അല്ല എന്ന് സംബന്ധിച്ചാൽ ഈ മോഡലിൽ ഇതിൻ്റെ ലൈറ്റ് അപ്പോൾ ഇത് വെള്ളം വരാത്ത സമയത്ത് ബ്ലിങ്ക് ആവുകയുള്ളൂ. ബ്ലോക്ക് ആകുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇത് ബ്ലിങ്ക് ആയി. ബ്ലോക്ക് ഇത് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഫിൽറ്റർ ബ്ലോക്ക് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇത് ബ്ലിങ്ക് ആയി കഴിയും. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ
as positive zinc ions gather in this half cell and copper positive ions get removed from this half cell, there develops a potential difference between the solutions. And that's why we need, or another reason why we need this ion bridge, because positive ions will move that direction from the zinc solution to the copper solution to complete the circuit and also to reduce the buildup of positive charge there and stop the depletion of positive charge over there. What about the movement of electrons? Remember, at this electrode here, we call it the anode because that's where oxidation is happening.
One is anode, another one is cathode.
The zinc is changing into zinc ions, and in the process, letting free 2 electrons per atom. Those 2 electrons per atom gather here on the electrode, making it to be negatively charged. They can't just stay there. They move along the wire, the external wire, and then they come along here to this electrode. We call that the cathode because that's where reduction happens, and then they get accepted by the copper 2+ ions, and that's what changes the ions into the copper atoms.
Happy?
Experiment 12. Electrochemistry. Voltaic cells. Chemicals in apparatus. Copper sulfate.
This is a voltaic cell. Notice we don't have any battery, any power source attached here because this is the power source. This is a battery. This is what a battery is made of. At the moment, it's not generating electricity, and why not? We'll get to just now. But let's just first look at its components. Here we have an electrode made of copper inside a solution of copper ions. Here we have an electrode made of zinc inside a solution of zinc ions. They are connected via these crocodile clips to a multimeter set as a voltmeter, which is not reading anything at the moment because at the moment they are not generating a potential difference across them. There we can see the completion of that circuit there. Once this is working, we will see that it's working by the fact that a potential difference will be registered on this voltmeter. So why isn't it working yet? The problem is we don't have a complete circuit. Notice that in between the 2 electrodes in the solutions, there's a gap. And so we know that with electricity you have to have a complete circuit in order for electricity to flow. So we're going to complete that circuit with an ion bridge. An ion bridge is a solution which bridges across the
so what is
two
the next
half
chapter?
cells of the voltaic cell. Notice as we put it in, the reading
Production of? I'll show you one video on this. Steel? Is it there in your book? Eh? Steel. Basic one is iron. Little bit of mix makes it steel. You know when Vivekananda and Tata, who's Tata? Ratan Tata was traveling together, and then Tata went abroad to get metal because the first steel industry was from Tata. And Vivekananda asked a question: why do you want to buy steel from other country? Why can't you make it? Then Tata said, we don't know how to make it. We are not educated. Then immediately Vivekananda said, why can't you start an institute to teach students how to make metal, steel? That's how Tata started Tata Institute. What's it called? And the whole process is because of metal making. Tata wanted to do business. Then he was processing it outside country. Then Vivekananda asked him the question. So who was the reason for starting the Tata Institute? Vivekananda. You know what is Tata Institute name, other name? Indian Institute of Science. Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore is called the Tata Institute. Okay. Then Tata asked one question to Vivekananda, where should I start it? Then he said, start in Mysore. Then Tata said, I don't have place in Mysore, no land. Then Vivekananda said, I will ask Maharaja to give you land free. So Vivekananda told Maharaja, give land free to Tata. So Maharaja gave land, free land for starting institute. And that is why now it became, after Raja rule, it became Indian Institute. Because it's not a private property of Tata. Got it? Yes. Similarly, Tata started aircraft. And then later government got the aircraft and the company. And that company is called Air India. Air India is an Indian company. But first it started by Tata. Indian Institute of Science. Science Institute started by Tata Institute. Right?
Yes.
And then another institute was Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Social Science പഠിക്കാനുള്ള ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ഏറ്റവും നല്ല ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ടിന്റെ പേരാണ് Tata Institute for Social Science. That's where my son studied. My elder son Hari Krishnan studied there. That also started by Tata, given to God. Right? എന്നിട്ടാണ് ചില ആൾക്കാർ പറയാം എല്ലാ കമ്പനിക്കാരും മൂരാച്ചികളാണ്. പറയാറുണ്ടോ ഇല്ലയോ? Yeah, there are people who says no, every rich fellow is മൂരാച്ചി. എല്ലാ പണക്കാരും മൂരാച്ചികളാണെന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരില്ലയോ? ഉണ്ടോ ഇല്ലയോ? അവരൊക്കെ ഈ പഠിക്കാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണ്, ഈ പാഠങ്ങൾ പഠിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. ഇന്ത്യയുടെ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് പ്രോസസ്സിന് ടാറ്റ, ബിർള, അംബാനി അവരൊക്കെ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ ഈസ് വെരി ഹൈ. If they did not start, government doesn't have money to start. Lot of private institutes, Christian missionaries have got lot of private institutes, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Because of Christians, lot of institutions came. That's why our English is better. Because our English is better, we are able to do job in outside this country. Right? Because we are able to do good job in the best country outside this world, we are having lot of demand. Got it? So who created this demand? Because of the development which we have by the private companies involvement, private people involvement, different people from different part of the world. So you must accept everything. Right? So I'll show you steel, or you want something else? This is the one which you want? Yeah, extraction of that's I think exam tips. Science exam tips.
Extraction of metals. There are many ways you can extract metals. One method is via carbon. You can also do it with hydrogen or more reactive metals. We use carbon on metals that are less reactive than it. If they are more reactive, it is difficult to extract metals using carbon. Another method we can use is electrolysis. This is where you extract the metals by passing electricity through its solution. You can also split up metals.
See, one method is using carbon, second method is using electricity. So carbon is very important. Every chapter you have carbon. Extraction of metal also you have carbon inside, right?
Yes.
Also with copper, people are developing new methods to make the extraction of metal more efficient all the time. One example of reduction by carbon.
See, the first example which they gave is copper, right? Copper is the first metal. That's why most of the traditional old vessels used to be copper, right? And gold is also good, very costly. What is the best? Why gold is preferred? No, it will not react and it will not become old. If you keep copper in few days, it will have green color. Correct? Metal, most of the metals, if you keep, its color changes. It will become darkish. It will get rust. Gold, if you keep it, no rust. It looks always new. That's why it is called one of the richest metal. And it has got good electricity conductivity. If you work with the gold ring while cooking, this will get heated up very fast. Gold absorbs temperature, absorbs electricity very fast. It's a good conductive material. But you cannot use it for electric conduction because it's very costly, right? Platinum, another one. Very costly. Another costly metal is platinum. So there are different metals which can be used for different purposes, and all of them have got conductivity different, right? extraction of metal depends on its conductivity, the way it reacts with the carbon and electricity.
Is by using a blast furnace. There are very few blast furnaces in operation at present.
Blast
in the UK,
furnace.
there are only one or
Keep it up.
two. Reduction by carbon is the process of trying to extract iron from its ore. This is hematite, so we're trying to get the iron from the oxide, as the high oxide isn't that useful to us. We do a few things to it. Firstly, we put in carbon, which is the reducing agent. After that, hot air and limestone are added to the furnace. The temperature in the blast furnace is very high. Carbon monoxide is produced, and this is what does the reduction process, and carbon dioxide picks up the extra oxygen. The reason we add limestone is to get rid of a lot of the other acidic impurities. On top, slag is left. You can use electrolysis for metal extraction. This is splitting the oxide from the metal. For example, you can get aluminium by splitting aluminium oxide, called bauxite. This can be split by passing electricity through it. Aluminium oxide has a very high melting point. Therefore, it is mixed with a compound called cryolite. However, this process uses a lot of electricity.
Fine?
Now if I ask you, where do we get the metals from? Metals like sodium, potassium, wood. We have seen that there are 3 methods to get the pure concentrated.
So here we are. In this chapter 4, your benefit of understanding.
What is that you want? Next, something more. Tell me fast. Next chapter, something. Whichever you want to see. Organic? Oh, organic compounds.
What materials are?
Experiment.
Look at-
Yes? Alcohol?
Welcome to Edunova's practical session of organic functional group analysis. In this session, we will detect the alcohol group present in the given organic compound.
Qualitative analysis of the organic compounds. The analysis and identification of unknown organic compounds constitute a very important aspect of the experimental organic chemistry. Here, we test for functional groups present in the organic compounds. First, let us start with the alcohols. Compounds in which the hydroxyl group is linked to the aliphatic carbon chain or in the side chain of an organic compound are called alcohols. Here, we got 5 tests to identify the alcoholic group. Sodium metal test,
To the organic compound, add approximately 1 gram of calcium sulfate to absorb water content present in the compound. Shake it well so that calcium sulfate absorbs the water content completely. Now, to this mixture, add a small piece of sodium metal.
All of you should have the habit of writing down everything what is told. Then only you will learn. Otherwise it's nice to see, but you don't remember. When you read the textbook or read or listen to this. After some time you will realize.
This effervescence due to the liberation of hydrogen gas indicates the presence of alcohol group in the given compound. Here you can observe the liberation of H2 gas by this brisk effervescence.
Test.
Alcohol can also be tested by using ester test.
Anything more?
In this test, to the given organic compound, add
Magnetic? You have magnetic separation in your syllabus? Where? Magnetic separation of what? Metal. That's why I want that word first. Don't say magnetic separation. Got it? Very simple. There are aluminium and iron. Assume you have mix. You put a magnet, which will come? Iron. Aluminium will not get attracted. Very simple, no? So that's a method to separate. That's another method. Fine. Let us see whether something is done. Magnetic separation. Done? The process of making it is called metallurgy. What's it called?
This is based on
You go to best in
magnetic
IITs.
properties of the old components.
One of the first metallurgy department was in Benares Hindu University.
The old particles of magnetic and the non-magnetic material is gagged. This method is used. The finely powdered ore is dropped on a belt moving on
Ore
strong
means?
electromagnetic rollers.
What you dig it out from the earth
The
is called ore.
magnetic
Iron
and
ore.
non-magnetic substances form two separate heaps. The magnetic material forms a heap nearer to the magnetic roller. Froth flotation method.
Yeah, that's a different
Ores
method.
concentrated by
Flotation method.
froth flotate.
The subject is called metallurgy.
Metallurgy. In this lesson, we shall learn about metallurgy and the process of obtaining pure metal from ore.
From ore.
The process used for extraction of metals in their pure form from their ores is referred to as metallurgy.
So നിങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള production of metal
Pure metals
subject
can
is
be
under
obtained from their
metallurgy.
ores
That's
through
one branch of
5
chemistry.
steps. The first step of metallurgy is crushing and grinding of ores.
Crushing
Ores
and grinding.
are crushed into a fine powder in big jaw crushers and ball mills. This process is called pulverization. After pulverization, the ores are concentrated based on the type of impurities and their percentage proportions. Removal of impurities results in concentration of the ores. Concentration can be done by any of the 3 methods.